is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Dense Pixels podcast. I'm your host, Brad, joined by my co-hosts, Micah.
Hey.
And Carrie.
What's up?
Let's get right into it. We're going to talk more about Pokemon later, as Micah prepares to be very excited about the other Pokemon news that drops later this week. But Carrie, you downloaded the new Sword and Shield expansion, Isle of Armor, that released when they did that Pokemon Direct, basically.
Yeah. So Isle of Armor came out last week, and it's fun. It's got some cool content in it. I haven't spent a ton of time with it, mostly because I haven't really had the time to yet. And I say that I haven't had the time to, but really I've just been playing Persona 4. But yeah, it's fun. It's exactly the sort of extra sort of post-game content with fun new characters and new challenges and a big new open area that you would want in sort of, your third version or your Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon sort of thing. So yeah, it's fun. It seems like it's $15 worth of content, which is exactly how much it costs. Or you can get the expansion pass, which is $30, and then both will just sort of download automatically. Yeah, it's fun. I'm looking forward to spending more time with it. Hopefully later this week. So
very good.
Yeah.
It's good that you have that because there's not a lot of promise. Well, I guess there's a lot of folks that are excited about one particular game on this list. And that game is not Duke Nukem 3D.
No.
20th Anniversary Edition World Tour, which came out for the Switch.
Why can't that franchise just die, man?
I don't know. Well, it kind of is. I feel like they're just releasing
because John St. John's got to collect those royalties.
He does. And Gearbox is well, we paid for this fucking license. We might as well get some mileage out of it.
Wow.
I mean, look, I guess if you're going to do any Duke Nukem, you might as well do Duke Nukem 3D, because that is the one that is ostensibly the best one? Question mark? I don't know. I haven't really played Duke Nukem.
Yeah. There's a very inappropriate Daniel Tosh joke that I can make about the best Duke Nukem game, which I'm not going to do on this podcast because it's really rude. And, and so that's not very cool. But it's very apt. So unfortunately, you guys can seek that one out if you want to.
Here's what I'll say about Duke Nukem. Duke Nukem is small dick energy.
There you go.
Yeah, it always has been, right? And it's not even it's obviously riffing off of 90s action movies, right? And I believe one of the best 90s action movies there ever was and ever will be is Commando, right? But at the same time, Commando was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was intentional or not. Duke Nukem is not he's not I don't get it. I don't get it.
I think if you put the right writing team on Duke Nukem, you could have a really fun game with a really funny script. But that's never happened. So alas.
Those warning lights you hear are because another Nintendo mobile game has released. It's Pokemon Cafe Mix, which also came out on the Switch as well.
Yeah, it's a little puzzle game. This was announced as part of the same Pokemon. It's not a Pokemon Direct. They called it Pokemon Presents because you got to get that alliteration in there. So this was announced last week when they announced the other stuff that we will talk about momentarily.
The one that some folks are very excited for is the remaster of SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, which came out for Xbox One, PS4, Switch, and PC. I did not play this game when it originally released back on the PlayStation 2. Apparently, it has a bit of a cult following. It's a game that is often seen at speedrunning competitions and things of that nature. So if you are super stoked for the remaster of this 15-year-old SpongeBob game, I'm very happy for you. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer comes to PS4 and Switch. So if you want to do some pod racing, you can certainly do that. Another game with a cult following as well. Mikey, you're giving a funny look. People do
that game's fun as shit.
I remember playing the game. I remember liking it. Why is it coming out now?
Well, this is probably just a port. I don't know.
Yeah. I get it, but why?
Because why not make another $10 a head off of this game in 2020?
Said nostalgia's a hell of a drug.
It's not an anniversary for Star Wars Episode 1.
Nope.
It's not like Star Wars is over, right? Like the episodic series is over. And it's the worst one.
I would say Episode 2 is worse than Episode 1.
I would agree.
Yeah. I forgot Episode 2 existed. I really did. I forgot Episode 2 existed. Because of all the sand, it's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Episode 9 is worse than Episode 1.
I would have to what? You know what? You are probably right from constructing a story.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're right because at least
I think I'm right too.
Episode 1 was boring, but it made sense.
It had some fun moments to it, right?
Yeah, and there
Episode
are things
1
that I remember about.
Episode 1 had some really, really good moments in it that stick with you, like the pod racing stuff, which was fun. Like the pod race itself was really fun, and fucking Duel of the Fates.
Yeah,
He's easily the best lightsaber battle in the entire fucking episodic franchise.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, Episode 9 is a 2.5-hour jack-off contest, courtesy of J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, you're 100%. I sit corrected. You are 100% right.
I wish I had an opinion, but I haven't seen one of those films, and I probably, I don't want to say never will, but it's gonna probably be a while.
Look, I don't hate Episode 1. I do think that the racing game, the pod racing game, is perhaps
was actually really fun.
That came out of that film, particularly the arcade version of it, where you actually sit in the pod racer and you control it with the 2 sticks.
That game had a surprisingly good sense of speed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was actually pretty surprised by that.
Yep.
And this conversation, this is why they put it out on PlayStation 4 and Switch.
There you go.
You're welcome.
Blair Witch comes out on the Nintendo Switch.
God, I hate the summertime, man.
You're about
not great.
Calm down. And then Fairy Tail, Tail, comes out on the PS4, Switch, and PC. Oh, I know what I could talk about. What I've been playing? Because I've been playing copious amounts of NBA Jam. Because I bought that goddamn arcade cabinet.
You did, didn't you?
And I will say that the reproductions of those games are pretty good. They even have with this cabinet they give you access to what would have been the dip switches on the original arcade unit, so you can adjust difficulty level. You can turn big head mode on or off, and they also have where you can decide whether or not to put scan lines in on the game, because it comes obviously with a newer flat screen monitor. It's not a CRT monitor.
So you can make it look old.
Yeah, you can make it look like the original version, which is actually better because it's not like they up-res the graphics or anything. So if you don't put the scan lines on, you get all the jaggies and stuff like that. This at least makes it look correct, I guess you can say. But yeah, no, it's really good. I've been playing a lot of TE. They also have Hang Time on there, which is not a game that I got to play a whole lot of in the arcades. I mostly stuck to the original ones, but Hang Time is also really good as well. It's arguably the best version of the game, but just because it didn't have the NBA Jam moniker. Nor does it have Tim Kitzmiller, which is unfortunate. The announcer.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is
the Boom Shakalaka guy, yes.
Is this your first one-up arcade cabinet?
It is.
Would you like to talk about that experience?
Yeah, so so the arcade one-ups are of good quality. Apparently they're better now than they were when the first run of them came out, when the Street Fighter cabinets. I actually might have, I don't want to go as far to say that I dodged the bullet, but it's better now than it was for sure. Because they used to have the original ones had single channel sound and things like that. This at least has stereo, and it's a little bit more high tech. The NBA Jam cabinet also has a Wi-Fi adapter in it, so that you can actually play other people. They actually added online to the original ROMs for the game, so you can play other folks.
Dope.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking slick. I've not tried the online yet. And it still has all the hidden characters and all that stuff that you can put in there as well, if you know the initials and the birth dates that that you have to do to get those guys. But yeah, the cabinet, it was pretty easy to build. if you can put together like a piece of IKEA furniture, it's pretty easy to assemble. The monitor's pretty solid that it comes with, and apparently it's easily moddable as well. So like if you want to put a Raspberry Pi in there, it's super easy. I'm probably going to upgrade the hardware in the cabinet at some point, because while the buttons and joysticks are fine, they could be better. Like they're definitely like bulk purchase parts. I probably am going to pick up some hat buttons and some Sanwa joysticks to throw in there at some point. And apparently it's like the deck is one piece. It comes right off the cabinet. It's super easy to mod. And I've done an arcade stick before, so it's really not really, it's literally just pop the buttons out and reconnect the little wires to it, and that's about it. But overall I'm pretty impressed. It's solid. If there's I will say if there's an arcade one-up out there that you feel some kind of way about, it's something that you can probably buy with confidence. It's a pretty good piece of kit, I would say, for sure.
Nice.
Are they you are around my height.
Mhm.
How tall is it in relation to
So
you?
it's the
They're
scale of the
3/4
base base,
size,
it's
right?
3/4 size, right? So the default ones, when they're built, are good for seated height. Now they sell these risers that you can buy, that you can mount it on, which the NBA Jam cabinet came with a riser, and it's with the riser, it's fine to stand at. I do prefer sitting on the stool that it came with. It comes with like a bar stool as well. The NBA Jam one does. So I prefer sitting at the bar stool when it's on the riser, but it can be stood at. Where it would get tricky. And this is only a problem for so far the NBA Jam and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet that they came out with. 4 players around that thing would be a bit of a tight fit. because like I said, it's not as wide as a typical arcade machine is, and even those were a tight fit back in the day.
Yeah.
So to get 4 players around one of these things might be a little tricky. But in terms of 1 or 2, it's no problem. They're coming out with a couple like Marvel versus ones that
Yeah,
are
they're doing like
Yeah.
Marvel versus Capcom
And Marvel versus or X-Men versus Street Fighter. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking about getting the Marvel versus Capcom one, but I don't have a basement or anything, so I don't have a place to put it. So I'm curious about the size.
You can send it to my house.
Well,
To
it's
see if I could get it into my office.
so if you guys see, like the blank space on my wall here above my left shoulder, I could fit it in that space easily if I didn't have my work desk.
Like if I moved this bookcase, could I get it in there?
Yeah, I think it's about as wide as the bookshelf is. The deck might stick out further, but then again, I think that's only a problem more akin to the 4-player cabinets. I think the 2-player cabinets are no problem. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, I got a basement, so this is not a problem.
A basement would be too much money for where we live at. Go to youtube.com/densepixels. If you go to youtube.com/densepixels, you could see the other side of my office, because I just turned the camera around to ask Brad, would the 1-up arcade cabinet fit there? And you could see all the miscellaneous figures, the figures that I don't have specific places for. You could see all of those.
And it's impressive because if you look at Micah's camera normally, you would think that his office is very small. But in reality, Micah's office is much larger than the camera view makes it appear, whereas my office is exactly as small as from this camera view.
I got space behind me. We
There
got
you go.
we got 2 desks. Two multi-monitor setups in this office.
So there you go. Go to youtube.com/densepixels and find out what our offices look like as you continue to stalk us via the internet.
Yep.
While you're on the internet, subscribe to all of the TNP podcasts wherever you get your podcasts, wherever good podcasts are sold, including the Nerdpocalypse, Black on Black Cinema, which what did we do? What movie did we do? We just did a movie.
Already forgotten.
Wasn't it 5?
The Five Bloods. Yes, we did The Five Bloods, the new Spike Lee movie. It was very good. Delroy Lindo was fucking acting his ass off in that movie. Coming Distractions will eventually be coming soon, but
You may have to switch to like Netflix releases or some shit like that.
You know what? That's probably a good idea. We will probably start doing that instead of the checked out portion of the Nerdpocalypse that we do. We can save some of that for Coming Distractions. And you get the weekly preview episode of Look Forward. Now, if you go to densepixels.com/premium and choose either the $5 a month or $50 a year option, I would choose the $50 a year option. You get access to the Premium Slaver podcast, including the airing of Grievances, our Seinfeld review show. No Time to Bleed, a new No Time to Bleed movie will be done soon. We have the choice. We just have to actually record it. The Men with the Golden Tongues will return, I promise. Upstage Conversation. You just had one with Brad, yes?
Yeah.
Yep.
What was it? I haven't listened to it yet.
Bye Bye Birdie.
Bye Bye Birdie. I have no idea what Bye Bye Birdie is, so I'm going to.
It is a spoof of when Elvis got drafted into the military when he was 18.
What?
Yep. Yeah, it's very early 60s. So yeah, I mean the movie came out in 1963, so it's by far the earliest film that we've featured on the show. So.
Oh, okay. The only thing I know about the 60s are civil rights and Batman doing the Bat-2C. That's pretty much the 60s for me.
Ostensibly the two most important things about the 60s.
Exactly. I'll let you decide what is 1 and 2. And the full episode of the Look Forward Political podcast. Look, politics is it's very interesting now, and now is the perfect time to watch to listen to those episodes. They're very good, and it's just a wild time right now, and I don't. And you got two wild people talking about it, and it's a very good show. I urge you all to go to densepixels.com/premium and sign up.
So we'll get right into the news. There's quite a bit of news this week, actually, if I'm being frank, much more than there's been in weeks past. So amidst all the Pokemon expansion announcements, new mobile game announcements, there's another announcement.
Yeah.
For the first time in 21 years, we are getting a new version of Pokemon Snap.
I have waited.
Man.
I have wanted this game for the last 21 years. I fucking screamed when this got unveiled. As soon as I realized what it was, I was like, holy shit. Finally, we're getting a new Pokemon Snap. Injected directly into my veins. Thank you very much.
Like I said, the Pokemon Snap is a game that lives in infamy on the Dense Pixels podcast. Because let's just say it was a grand pursuit of our very own Micah back when he was a lad.
What came first, me losing my virginity or me playing Pokemon Snap? I'll leave that up to you to figure out.
Oh, at least it's one of the best anecdotes. So the new one is called, in the most Nintendo way possible, New Pokemon Snap. That's the title of the new game that's coming. Now, I don't believe that they have announced a release date or even a release window.
No, they basically just said, like, now in development or under construction, whatever.
Okay.
So the trailer that was released last week really only highlighted like one level, which appears to be a new version of the beach level from the first game, which is the very first level that you play through. But it looks fabulous. You have Pokemon from all generations being represented. what I also noticed was, even though you only saw the one level, you saw like a daytime version of the level, you saw like a dusk version of the level, and then you saw a nighttime version of the level. So I assume all of the levels you'll be able to go in at different times of day and presumably find different types of Pokemon. Yeah, I'm super fucking excited for this. I love Pokemon Snap. I have the Pokemon Snap soundtrack on vinyl. That's how much I like Pokemon Snap.
Jesus.
It's super bootleg.
You've been waiting 2 decades to get your Pokemon voyeurism back.
I have been waiting 2/3 of my life at this point, waiting for a new Pokemon Snap.
Well, at least you have this.
I do.
Because like I said, you still wait in anguish for a new Golden Sun. But
also true.
New Pokemon Snap coming.
Yeah.
So like I said, we have that to look forward to as well.
Now, the other thing about this is, so they had this presentation, right? And it was like an 11-minute presentation, and they were like, hey, don't forget, Isle of Armor comes out this week. Here's some more details about Isle of Armor and what you can expect from it. Then they were like, hey, here's like a mobile app, and it's not really a game, but it's a cute little app that helps you like brush your teeth, called Pokemon Smile. And like it's geared at like helping little kids who don't like brushing their teeth like be more involved and enjoy the practice of brushing their teeth. So I'm like, cute, whatever. It's like you brush your teeth with Pikachu and you brush your teeth with Squirtle, and like you use the camera and it like puts a little Squirtle hat on you, and I don't know, I thought it was really cute. And then the Pokemon Cafe Mix, which is the puzzle game that's coming out this week. But then they were like, you know what else we got? We got a big project we want to talk to you about. Come back next week. So tomorrow, as this episode is coming out, of course, there will be some sort of large project in another Pokemon Presents episode or presentation. So now people are like, well, what's it going to be? Because you already gave us Pokemon Snap, which we've been asking for 21 years. So people seem to think that the game that they're going to announce will either be a Let's Go version of the Johto region, or the remake of the 4th generation games, Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, that people have been asking for years now. I think they're going to announce Let's Go Johto myself. So we'll see.
I think it's something new and completely different that'll underwhelm everybody.
Huh.
So we'll see. Nintendo also did a Smash Brothers, not a direct, but I guess, a small Smash Brothers presentation.
Yeah.
To announce is this the first fighter in the new season?
I believe so.
Yes, I think so.
So Min Min from ARMS is being put into the game as a new fighter. Frankly, it's a little surprising that it took them this long to get an ARMS character in the game. We all figured that would be a shoo-in.
Yeah, I had sort of figured that would be part of the first season.
Right.
Because they have Springman in there as an assist trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Min Min is fine. I had sort of hoped, I forget the character's name, but I had sort of hoped it would be the one thick girl that everyone
girl
really
with the big ass? Yeah. I was too.
Isn't Min Min one of like the mascot characters on the?
Here's the thing. So like ARMS, and Sakurai said this, ARMS doesn't really have like a main protagonist. Like you have a roster of characters and they all sort of carry equal weight, which is nice. Min Min has a really cool design. She works in a ramen shop, so she has like one arm that looks sort of like ramen noodles and one arm that looks like a dragon, and like her hat looks like a ramen bowl basically. She's very cute. I thought the way that she was presented was cool. It looks like she's going to play pretty interesting. So yeah, ARMS I thought was fun. I feel like this character announcement is heralding like an ARMS sequel of some sort that's probably also in development.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, cool.
Be curious to see if an ARMS sequel does well, because I think a lot of its success was due to the fact that it was a launch title. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Released in the middle of a generation. How much?
ARMS has some really fun music to it too.
I did not enjoy that game when I played the trial. So
yeah,
wasn't feeling it. And then they announced some new Mii Fighter costumes from various properties, including ARMS and Splatoon and Tekken and Fall.
You can get a fucking Heihachi costume for your Mii Fighter.
But and a Vault Boy skin.
Yeah. The Vault Boy in particular looks really good because it's not just like a weird little wig on top of like a Mii character. Like it actually just looks like
it just looks
Vault
like
Boy.
the fucking Pit Boy or Vault Boy or whatever. Does the Heihachi outfit herald a Tekken character being introduced into this, do you think?
I don't know. I feel like it may have to do with like maybe future Tekken titles coming to the Switch. Because like I don't think they're going to put like a Fallout character in the game, but you know we can see over the last few years that Nintendo has worked more closely with Bethesda in getting big Bethesda content on the system. So I don't know, maybe we're getting a big time like Fallout port to the Switch. I play Fallout 4 on Switch.
Yeah, what's it called? Skyrim's on the Switch, so
yep.
Why not?
Speaking of things people have been waiting for over 20 years, Sony announced with a new trailer Crash Bandicoot 4, which is subtitled It's About Time, which is coming to PS4 and Xbox One. On through a second, in case you forgot, Activision owns the rights to Crash Bandicoot, not PlayStation at this point. But yeah, so a new trailer for a new Crash Bandicoot game. People that are fans of Crash Bandicoot are very excited about this. This was pretty fucking predictable when the Crash trilogy did gangbusters.
Yeah.
So
look, I'm in. I like Crash Bandicoot. I think if this is done well, like the Crash games always had that like certain style about them, right? Just in terms of like how the levels are laid out, and there really haven't been too terribly many other games that have done it in exactly the same fashion. So to get a contemporary Crash Bandicoot game, like, yeah, cool. Like, I'm in.
I'm surprised this isn't coming out for the Switch as well. I don't
Not yet.
Why they couldn't make that work, but
can someone give me a the last mascot like platform adventure game series that I got into was Ratchet and Clank.
Mm-hmm.
Can someone please explain to me the appeal of Crash Bandicoot? Like he seems like every picture I see of him, he's got his tongue hanging out, right? And that just it seems very wacky. And
it was 1998.
Okay.
really?
Actually, it was 1995 when the first game came out.
What is he doing? Why is he fighting like Captain Forehead?
Neocortex. Yeah, so Crash Bandicoot. So Cortex was, I believe, like trying to create like a super powered animal army for himself. And so he was doing like crazy experiments, and Crash was one of these experiments, and he basically breaks out of the lab, and then decides he's got to go back and rescue his girlfriend, basically. So he has to travel throughout this island, defeat all of Cortex's henchmen, which are all, super powered animals of some sort, rescue his girlfriend and defeat Neocortex. And then
I see a picture of his girlfriend here.
That is not his girlfriend. I believe that's his sister.
His sister. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, his sister is straight out of the 90s, mm-hmm. with her jumper with one strap on and the mm-hmm. other one off, a patch, because that was a really big deal in the 90s. We wore patches on our pants when we didn't have holes in them. And she looks like she's holding some sort of trap or keeper, and goggles for some reason.
Yep.
So, okay.
Look, right. I enjoyed the heck out of Crash Bandicoot, but I was also like 7. So.
I'm not knocking you. I infamously had the first time I played a Crash Bandicoot game was in Uncharted 4 when you could play Crash Bandicoot with your wife. That's the first time I played it.
Well,
And I played, the only time I ever played Crash Bandicoot was on my PlayStation 1 Jam Pack disc that came with my PlayStation 1. And I did not care for it. So that was a hard pass for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think Spyro was the better of the two.
I think Spyro was better
they're
also.
closely together, and Spyro's definitely a better game.
Yeah. The thing that I remember the most, or I guess the strongest memory that I have of anything related to Crash Bandicoot, is Otakon a couple years ago, the guy who's the voice of Neo Cortex. It was like Thursday night, and I was outside of the main hotel that's connected to the DC Convention Center, and the guy who voices Cortex was like visibly intoxicated in the lobby. And I was like, I have an interview scheduled with him at like 10 a.m. tomorrow. I am not confident that he is going to make it in the condition that he is in right now. And I was right, because the next morning they were like, he's not feeling well. And I was like, gee, I wonder why. He's a really nice guy. I don't want to be like, oh, he's an asshole who gets wasted at conventions. He's actually a super cool dude. But yeah.
Does Crash Bandicoot say a lot? When was this? Because he has a number of different actors portraying him. Carlos Alzacari did some voice work for him in promotional work. If you don't know Carlos Alzacari, he was in Reno 911.
He's also the voice of Rocco.
Yes, he's the voice of Rocco. And Steve Blum. Anyone who has ever listened to anything animated knows who Steve Blum is.
Yeah. I don't think in the early games that he had a huge voice thing. I think he just made like noises and shit.
Yeah, he looks like a character that doesn't really say much.
But of course, the lasting impact of Crash Bandicoot, of course, were the hilarious PlayStation commercials from
like the live action mascot commercials. They still have like a dude with the live action suit at promotional events. Like I have a very good picture of me with like real Crash Bandicoot from San Diego Comic-Con a few years ago. Because it's just the guy's head like in the teeth.
Crash Bandicoot did the invading your opponent's corporate headquarters before DX popularized in the late 90s.
Yeah.
When Crash Bandicoot drove a pickup truck to Nintendo's corporate offices with the Crash Bandicoot game. It's quite funny. But yes, that's coming back. If you're super excited for that, then again, I'm very happy for you. Something that I'm gotta say I'm not too thrilled about is this news. So Rocksteady's been working on something for a long time. And people said, was it a new Batman game? Is it a Superman game? Is it a Justice League game? Like that's pretty much been the entirety of the scuttlebutt around the mysterious Rocksteady project, which allegedly, reportedly, maybe, rumoredly, we're gonna actually find out what it is in August. That's what they're saying. But the rumors say, or sorry, this is beyond rumor. It's a report. The reports that are coming out say that it's going to be a Suicide Squad game that Rocksteady is working on. Eurogamer reported on this, that it's going to be a Suicide Squad themed game. And then additionally, before this report happened, there were some new web domains that were discovered, such as Suicide Squad KillTheJusticeLeague.com and GothamKnightsGame.com, which could possibly be game titles. Allegedly, this is going to be a next generation title that's going to be available on the Series X, PS5, and PC. But yeah, so guys, what do you think about the reports that the long rumored Rocksteady game is going to be based around the Suicide Squad?
I mean, it's different, and it kind of fits the really like the Arkham universe. I can see them, kind of pivoting towards that. I really wanted it to be a Superman game though, because I wanted to see if they could
do it.
If they could do it, yeah. Not just from like a technical level of how do you do a Superman game, one with Superman as a character, two with decent flight mechanics. But how they would do it, what it would look like. Like, would they still make it dark and kind of grimy like this Arkham universe? Or would they kind of brighten it up a bit. And I was looking forward to seeing if they could brighten it up, if they could juxtapose their Arkham universe with some sort of
with a Metropolis universe.
Yeah. I think that would have been really good, man. But you could kind of do things with it, right? Like if you could be multiple members of the Suicide Squad and each one of them has a different attribute that you could use. Maybe it's going to be like a multiplayer game where you go on runs or whatever. You've got the perfect game over screen if you fail a mission. Your head just blows up and then you start over. It could work. I'm kind of disappointed, but I don't know. We'll see what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point you brought up about like this is a team. This isn't just one dude with a handful of sidekicks like Batman ultimately is. This is if they're focusing on a team, I think you could get some really compelling gameplay out of it with multiple characters that you can choose from and trying to complete whatever mission with different characters and trying to figure out what configuration of the team works best for whatever given scenario. I wouldn't say I have too terribly strong feelings about this game. Like I don't love the Suicide Squad because ultimately the Suicide Squad is just kind of an extension of Batman at this point.
Yeah.
And I would have preferred that they pick a complete different family of DC characters. But whatever.
Where's my Green Lantern game? Damn it.
Right?
you got like they're space cops, man. Like where's my space cop game?
The news that bummed me out was the fact that CD Projekt Red has announced another delay for Cyberpunk 2077. It's now slated to release on November 19th. And they just said that it's basically like development of the game is finished, like content-wise. But because the game is so large, they needed more time to make sure all the bugs got out and all the balancing was good. I'm only bummed about this because that's around the time that Assassin's Creed Valhalla is supposed to come out. I was kind of counting on having 2 months to play Cyberpunk and then get into Assassin's Creed, but apparently I will have to back burner Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, I was about to say, which one are you gonna?
Oh, that's not even a fucking question. Listen, as cool as Odyssey was, they made a Blade Runner game, Micah.
Yeah,
Blade Runner game. Like, come on. And hey, that's just more time for Kingdoms of Amalur to be played.
There you go.
Until then, so
I was gonna be really disappointed if you said you would play Assassin's Creed.
Absolutely not. I was late to Odyssey. I could be late to. Plus, it'll give you time to play the new Destiny expansion when it comes out as well. So
there you go.
Maybe not all bad news. Not all bad. Hey, I'll actually have time to play games in November, December for once, which is a big change from what
yeah.
So, very good. Finally, in my proudest headline of the week, Guinness Book of World Records capitulates to hot sauce magnate, but Twin Galaxies remain steadfast. We have no problem picking on our favorite large four-headed, thinning hair, fucking, I'm sure MAGA hat wearing, American tie, hot sauce piece of shit, Billy Mitchell. Cheating, he's a cheater. He cheats for his world records, apparently. He sued both the Guinness Book of World Records and Twin Galaxies for invalidating some of his high scores. Well, the Guinness Book of World Records has reinstated those scores, saying that they have received additional evidence and expert verification that Billy Mitchell's scores were legitimate. The two things that he was disputing that has been reinstated, at least on Guinness's side, is that he was the first player in Pac-Man to get a perfect score, which is 3,333,360 points, and that he was the first player to reach 1 million points in Donkey Kong as well. However, Twin Galaxies is still refusing to acknowledge either record. They're still in litigation. But apparently, Ars Technica, who did the original story, reached out to the CEO of Twin Galaxies, who is Jace Hall, and his only reply to them was the Kermit the Frog sipping tea meme. So apparently, they feel pretty strong in their belief that Billy Mitchell is still a cheater, and why not? Because he sucks.
Yep. I mean, here's the thing. The issue didn't have to do with either his Pac-Man score or his million points in Donkey Kong score. I believe it was something else. Both Guinness and both Guinness and Twin Galaxies tossed all of his scores. Mm-hmm. So Guinness hasn't reinstated all of his scores. They reinstated 2 of his scores.
Well, I think these two.
Those 2 may have been the only ones that Guinness. Well, they're the things he cares about the most. Yeah, but those may have been the only 2 that Guinness was sort of keeping track of anyway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. But Billy Mitchell, I don't think anyone can say like, oh, Billy Mitchell is like, he wasn't really a gamer, like he was cheating the whole time. Like, no, I think he's just a fucking arrogant dickhead who was doing everything he possibly could to stay relevant, even as his hair started to fall out and people stopped caring so much about arcade scores.
Right, like someone in the comments on this article down below, he's infinitely hateable. Like that's the perfect encapsulation of what he is.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's just a dickish person that is infinitely fun to root against.
The other thing that someone posted was exclusive photo of the new evidence, and it's just a bag of money.
Well, allegedly, Guinness has been accused of,
being paid off, basically. Right. Yeah, I mean, half the shit, you don't get into the Guinness Book of World Records unless you pay someone from Guinness to show up to your record attempt.
Right.
So, yeah.
I can't imagine living a life where like I got nothing else and I got to pay Guinness to come and put me in there. I don't know.
Or that's all you got going for you?
Yeah, like that, like that's it. Like that's all I got. Well, he doesn't have, he also has Ricky's world famous Louisiana hot sauce. It's world famous because he said so.
I want to try the hot sauce. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see if it's any good.
I can't imagine that this is very hot. Billy Mitchell doesn't seem like a type of guy that likes like adversity or confrontation food? Or spice or like.
Here's why everyone doesn't like Billy Mitchell. Do you know what Billy Mitchell is? Ultimately, at the end of the day, he's the harmless version of Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. He's the version of Donald Trump that has no real world consequences.
Yeah.
So it's fun to hate him.
Yeah. Yep. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
Walking around wearing tacky ties, terrible hair.
He's obsessed with himself. All he cares about is his own furtherment.
Yeah.
Life.
He's concerned about numbers that aren't really there. He's just he's a bit of a dick.
Just a villain. He's a low-level villain.
Yeah. If you want to help a high-level villain, go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon.
Oh, I put that one on a T for you, didn't I?
When you go to www.
Quite frankly.
I am too. That's why I'm grinning like this. When you go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon, you can help us lowly serfs by going to this supervillain and buying things. When you buy anything by going to www.densepixels.com/Amazon, we get a bit of a kickback. It's very small, very small. They're not trying to give out too much, but it is the easiest way to help the show. I'm at www.densepixels.com/Amazon right now, and I've typed in Ricky's world famous Louisiana hot sauce. And the first thing that comes up is ads for different hot sauces. But the second thing that comes up is the hot sauce. You can get a 2-pack for $20. There's not a lot left because they probably didn't make a lot, and there are no reviews, which means no one's buying them. But yeah, it just got a picture of a chicken on it. Go to www.densepixels.com/Amazon and help your friends out.
So there's a couple top stories this week. The first one is that like games industry, video games and board games are having kind of their Me Too Part 2 reckoning.
And comic books. I'm gonna tack that onto this.
And wrestling.
So here's the thing. Here's my hypothesis behind why this is popping off. I think that in the wake of the George Floyd and Black Lives Matter and defund the police protests that are going on, everything that's going on, I think people in general have just like every and with COVID, overall this entire situation, people are literally like there is not anyone left right now that has any fucks left to give about anything, and they're just like, and everyone's just like, you know what? Fuck it. Like we're doing this.
We're done. Let's go. Let's start naming names.
So we're not going to talk about the allegation because there's a lot of allegations. So here's some companies that have had either current or former employees had allegations leveled against them in the past week or so. Twitch, Facebook, Ubisoft, Paradox Interactive, the dickheads over at Cards Against Humanity, Techland, the Gato Studio, and then some prominent Bungie streamers have all had either abuse, misconduct, sexual assault allegations. I've been privy to some of the Bungie shit. A lot of that stuff is really fucking gross. It's and the problem is too is that it's dudes that were like people knew that they were scumbags. Like people had heard like stories from other folks about them and things of that nature. But it's one of those things that if the people who were the target of the abuse don't want to step forward, like it's not your story to tell, right? So like people didn't really know, like obviously they weren't like working with these people that they knew were fucking scumbags, but they also weren't shouting it from the rooftops either, because it's not their story to tell. Like the person who is the subject of the abuse needs to be the one to come forward. I feel like, but I don't know. IGN has had some of their former folks that have been called out as well. It's a lot going on. And I'm fucking fine with it. Like it's people that act with scumbaggy, dickish, and criminal behavior in some cases should not be getting a free pass.
Nope.
Quite honestly, and this is a good thing that this is happening.
Yep. I'm really glad to see it happening in the comics industry as well. I mean, fucking Warren Ellis was named, and that is one of the bigger names in the comic industry. So yeah, few folks are finally being held responsible for the terrible shit that they've done over the years. What a concept. So yeah, I mean, good. I do not find it surprising that the vast majority of the people being held to the fire right now are white men. So
the people that are like into the things that stereotypically like didn't get you girls when you were young, you know what I mean? And now that women are not afraid to let their geeky side show, like the first thing these dudes do is just be scummy to them. Like I never understood it, man. I never understood it. Look, growing up, I was a scared of girls. And not because well, they might say that I did something and I didn't know, because I was always afraid of rejection and shit. You know what I mean? But it never occurred to me to be like, well, fuck you then, bitch. Like I I don't understand the mentality. And we were talking about this on another podcast. I think it was a Black on Black preview episode where, I don't surround myself with people who act like that and think like that. And Jay brought up a good point. He was like, yeah, because sometimes when I hear stuff like this and someone says, "Oh, all men are scum," right? Like his initial like response is, well, not all men, but he doesn't say it, obviously, because he has tact and couth, but it's because he doesn't surround himself with a bunch of scummy people. And yeah, you got to kind of get out of your bubble and realize that, like, there are other people in the world, and just leave people alone. I really don't understand. I really don't understand how difficult, why it's so difficult to just like leave people alone and not like whip your dick out in front of people.
So much of it is you have women who are trying to break into the industry in some capacity, and they end up in a situation like this at a networking event or something like that. Usually networking events at conventions are just fucking bar parties, of course. And strike up a conversation and maybe start a relationship, and suddenly that becomes like, oh, well, what are you going to do for me? If I put your name in for this project, what are you going to do for me? Well, now you owe me because I got you on this. I got you a job, so you owe me this attention, kind of.
I would never.
Because you're not an asshole. But unfortunately, in my 30 plus years of experience as a woman on planet Earth, there are a lot of men like that.
And I really saw it when I was working at GameStop, right? Like that's when it kind of came to me, because I would see people who would come in, and I would see women who would come in and they would buy, a wide variety of games, because like women like a bunch of different stuff, just like guys like a bunch of different stuff. And I would work with people who would be like, oh yeah, your boyfriend will like this. I'm like, and the woman is like, no, this is for me, right? And and it would be something stereotypical, like a shooter or something, Whereas if a woman would come in and buy something like The Sims, he would be, that person would be all like, oh yeah, you're going to really love this, assuming that it was for her. It might have been, might not have been, but he assumed it was for her because The Sims is, a quote unquote girl game. Yo, this girl right here, this 6'2" black girl with a beard loves The Sims, right? I used to play that shit all the time. But
if you think it's bad for female customers at GameStop, imagine how bad it is when you're a woman who works at GameStop.
Yo, I mean, I would love to, but I didn't have a lot that worked there, yeah. Which is also a problem. So, yeah, man, I can't. I feel for you, man. That's why I don't understand why like marginalized people can eat their own. Like I never understand it. We are going through this time in America right now, but black people will still be like, fuck gay people. Like, what the?
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but thank you for bringing that up.
like what are you talking about?
I think I have faced more blatant homophobia from like straight black people than from any other community, if I'm being honest with you.
Like, what is going on, man? Like, I don't understand that shit, right? You got white women calling the cops on black women. Like, yo, y'all are women, yo. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on, man. Like, y'all should be in this shit together, trying to stop us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't, I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
And again, the companies involved do bear some of this. I think that there's still too heavy of a culture, especially in some companies, that it is male dominated in leadership positions. I think you need more women up at the top because men are fucking stupid and do a lot of stupid things, as has been evidenced. I'm sure a lot of these kids I call them kids, they're fucking adult men, are product of environments they grew up in. I mean, we don't know their personal situations, but put it this way, I'm happier that my mother had a lot more to do with my raising than my father did. I'll just put it to you like that.
Yeah.
And so, but again, like you still need to know fucking right from wrong. I think technology is part of it. I think one of the reasons that like Micah and me especially don't get it is because like our generation isn't really. I'm speaking for Micah. I don't know if I should be, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Micah. Aren't like we don't do like the whole sexting thing. Like we don't do the whole, sending pictures, that kind of stuff.
I tried that shit once in an AOL chat room. That's how long ago that was. And it was just the weirdest thing. And I just like, look, I ain't got the imagination for that shit. I never got it. Right.
I had someone try that shit with me and just be like, "Oh, tell me what you're wearing," and I was like, "Pajamas." Like, what do you want?
But like that State Farm commercial. Khakis.
Yeah.
I feel like for a lot of younger millennials, though, like that's a thing.
Oh yeah, look, I've been sent.
The culture, yeah.
I have seen my fair share of unsolicited dick pics, so I'll just leave with that.
And I would never think to take a picture of my fucking dick and send it to some random woman.
No,
I would never fucking do it in a million years.
Look, I got a stereotype that I have to protect. I don't need my dick pic shattering that shit.
The last time I got sent an unsolicited dick pic, I just sent back a picture of someone cutting a carrot, and that was the end of that interaction.
The last time I got that, I got one. I got a dick pic from Uno on the 360 when they first had the cameras to come out.
Yeah.
Like the first thing people did was just like take pictures of your dick and then have the dick be the avatar while you're playing fucking Uno. Like, what the fuck is going on, man?
Here's a pro tip, and I'm sorry to both of you, but every dick is ugly. No one wants to see your dick.
Any disagreement from us on that?
Dicks are not beautiful little things. Every dick is ugly. No one wants to see it.
No one wants to see your dick.
No one wants to see you like trying to stretch your dick to like make it look a little bit bigger. Man. Like no one's impressed.
There have been
Micah, you know exactly what I'm talking about too.
I do, yeah, I do. People just be like, "Come on," like, "Nah, man, yeah."
There have been many fine episode titles in the history of this podcast, but "No One Wants to See Your Dick" is definitely gonna be a top fiver for sure.
No one wants to. No one wants to. Like,
well, kudos to all these men and women for speaking out against these douchebags. And again, Carrie, I'm struggling to think of anyone that's been called out that hasn't been a white male in all of this shit that's going on. Because of course
they're around. Look, they're around. They're like black dudes ain't no worse. Like last week I saw a video of a black guy hit a black woman in the face with a skateboard because she rejected him. So they're scummy all around. And shit has got to stop, man. And I really hope that change is coming and will be lasting. You can't just changing the Aunt Jemima lady is not gonna cut it, yo. Like there really needs to be some fucking change in this country, and from top to bottom in and apparently every single facet of life, including video games, which is amazing to me because like you ever just browse the sci-fi section in a Barnes and Noble or something? Like they're all female protagonists in sci-fi movies and books, like all of them. Half of them are written by women with male pen names so that they can be fucking bought. But like, so I don't understand. All right. This is a show about video games. Let's talk about some video games.
So that news sucked. But some news that just look, I don't often like to say I told you so. Who the fuck am I kidding? I love saying it all the time. I fucking told you so. I told everybody. I told all y'all this shit was gonna fucking go away. I knew it. I knew that Mixer was a fucking terrible idea. And I knew that
Chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss. Are you back, Brad?
I'm back.
All right.
Okay.
I'm back. I'm back. I'm back, and I'm Brad. Yeah, I told everybody. I told all when fucking Mixer came on the scene, and Microsoft's like, "Oh, even though Twitch and YouTube are out there, we're gonna make our own streaming platform, and it's gonna be excellent." Like, what the fuck are you doing? These already exist. Like, why are you building this? Just go with the fucking ones that already exist. Like, why are you making this difficult? I was right. Mixer's dead because they took it away. Mixer is transitioning. And here's the other thing. This is the coup de grace on the fucking Mixer story. Where are they going? Where's Mixer transitioning to? I don't know. Let's go to the company that everyone seems to fucking hate right now. Let's go to the company that everyone's dying to get away from as much as possible. Fucking Facebook Gaming is where Mixer is going. So yeah, by July 22nd, all the Mixer sites and apps will redirect people to Facebook. And then apparently the quid pro quo in the situation is that Microsoft's Project xCloud or Project Azure, or whatever the fuck they're calling their streaming platform now, is going to be appearing on Facebook in the near future. And then here's the best part. So again, you've heard us talk about the stories of the high profile streamers, most notably Ninja, that were lured to Mixer with many millions of dollars of contracts in their future. And what happens to these guys that have been with Mixer for like a year, maybe at this point, that were signed these big money deals to lure them?
They get a fucking paycheck. That's what happens.
They get paid out of their contracts. They can mosey right back on over to Twitch, where they probably never even lost most of their following, to be quite frank.
Yep. Now the one thing about this that this article doesn't mention, that I did see some coverage on other media, is you have some smaller streamers, not these fucking $1 million contract streamers or anything like that, but streamers who are still using this as a way to, make some of their income, who were not told that this was going to happen, that they basically sort of found out about this as it was happening. And these are people who had cultivated really strong communities on Mixer, and so now you have many sort of smaller streamers, but still streamers who were sort of making money off of Mixer, who basically had that source of revenue just yanked away from them. So it's they have to fucking start over elsewhere, and that sucks. And I think it's worth noting that sucks. I think it's worth noting that that Mixer did not really properly inform much of their user base what the plan was, that it was just sorry, you're good luck, fuck off. So
yeah, that sucks, man. Ninja's gonna be fine, you know what I mean? I'm not worried about I'm really not worried about him. But yeah, it just really, the whole thing sucks, man. And it just I'm not a person that's that holds corporations in too high esteem.
Mm-hmm.
But it just really makes Microsoft look bad, it just really makes them look really shitty.
Well, and again, because they didn't need to do this. Mixer existing, again, at the time that Mixer came into the picture, you already had two, you had the fucking mega ship, which was Twitch, and Amazon, really. I mean, it's fucking Amazon at the end of the day. Yeah. And then Google. You're going to compete for a service that goes toe-to-toe with Amazon and Google, who have not that Microsoft doesn't have endless amounts of money as well, but Mixer always felt like an Xbox-only streaming platform. It did. That's how it always felt to me. And they made it hard to use Twitch on the Xbox One, as Terrence has talked about. on the podcast before. I'd imagine it was equally as hard to use to link to YouTube gaming. Whereas with PlayStation, it's as easy as can be. Like, it's so fucking easy to link to YouTube or Twitch when you're on a PS4 and streaming. And it just didn't have to happen. And like you guys, I agree. I feel bad for the folks who are the smaller streamers that are still able to make a living or some side hustle money doing this. And they can apparently keep their status if they move to the Facebook gaming thing as well. But Facebook is not a company that everyone wants to be associated with right now, which I totally fucking understand. Believe me, like if we could drop Facebook in a millisecond in this network, we would. It's hard because we're already established with you guys over there, but we would do it in a millisecond because I fucking hate Facebook. We all do. It's fucking terrible, and to be forced to make that choice does kind of blow, for sure. But like I said, I knew this shit was going to happen because while Microsoft has unlimited funds, while they have resources that other places don't have, they're like Google, man. Like, they do shit as a hobby, and if it doesn't work out, they're just like, whatever, throw it away.
Yeah, like
it's only
this ain't making enough money, guys.
Right, it's only money, so it's not that big of a deal.
Yep.
So, and again, the fact that they had like Phil Spencer made it a point to say, oh well, because we're doing this, this will allow the Xbox team to continue their focus on games and gaming. Why the fuck were you employing the Xbox team to work on Mixer? Like, why wouldn't you just create like a Mixer department and had those guys fucking doing it? Again, you got the money. It's not like you can't fucking do it. So I don't know. I've been since day one not understanding why Mixer exists, and the fact that this happened was just the funniest fucking thing to me, because of course it was. Idiots. So you got that. Lastly, EA had their EA Play events that was streamed online. I mean, like I said, I don't expect much from EA anymore. I really don't. People were expecting one surprise. They got the announcement of a new skate game that's coming back eventually.
It's as if that they told the developers of Skate, hey, you guys can make a new Skate game like 12 minutes before they fucking recorded this. They seemed just as surprised as we were, and it didn't seem like a really super high note to like end the presentation on. It was they're like, we have one more thing, and it was like Skate 4, and I'm like, yeah, that's okay. No gameplay, like we're not even really getting a logo, like just like two white dudes in their houses talking about skateboarding.
We are making Skate. As they said, you commented this into existence. And again, very happy for everyone's excited for a Skate game, but I feel like that when you're listening to the comments section to act as the market for your video game, you're setting yourself up to fail. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Apex Legends is coming to Switch and Steam this fall, and there's going to be crossplay in Apex Legends starting this fall, so people are very stoked about that. We saw some gameplay of the new Star Wars Squadrons game that was announced in trailer form that we talked about last week.
I think this game looks fun.
I'm sure it's going to be fun. It's going to be one of those games that is going to be fun to pick up and play, at least initially. Now, how many people stick with it?
Yeah, because like flight simulators are like, that's a kind of niche thing, right? Like, you know, the flight sims I recall being kind of popular in the 90s, like when X-Wing versus TIE Fighter was like a big thing. Look, those old games, I like those old games a lot. This looks like a brand new version of X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. I'm very into it. Put me in a fucking spaceship and let me shoot lasers, and I will be very happy with you. Thank you very much. So look, it's 5-on-5 multiplayer. You've got a campaign that will have you flying for both the Empire and the New Republic in a story that takes place right after the Return of the Jedi. The new trailer mentioned that the second Death Star has been destroyed, but there are still, you know, there's still some cleanup that has to happen. It wasn't, you know, a situation where they blew up the second Death Star and then everything was nice for a few years. That didn't happen. 8 different ships will be playable, 4 for sort of each side. Yeah, I don't know. I'm into it. Hopefully it gets reviewed well. Hopefully there's like a demo or a trial or some sort. So we'll see.
We'll also have crossplay. Of course, it's going to be VR compatible, which is probably going to be a really cool way to experience the game.
I really want to play it in VR.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a rift for that probably. I don't even know if it's gonna make the PlayStation VR. We'll see. I would hope, but we'll see about that.
Well, here's the thing. I'm kind of torn because I feel like I would really enjoy it in VR, but I also feel like it would very quickly give me motion sickness.
I could see that. There's a few indie games announced, including a game called It Takes Two from Joseph Ferris, the very famous Fuck the Oscars guy.
I'm very upset that they did not let Joseph Ferris say fuck in this presentation.
Yeah, they just leave it out. That's what you gonna do. And apparently EA finally realized that the Switch is a console that exists because there's 7 EA games coming to the Switch over the next 12 months, despite that console being grossly underrepresented. There's a really shitty looking game called Rocket Arena that was coming out. Imagine a third person shooter that's all rockets, guys. That's the concept.
Wow.
Rocket Arena.
Yeah. There was one adventure game that has a very stupid title called Lost in Random, but it has a very cool visual style. It looks sort of like if you're familiar with Leica Studios, it looks like that kind of style of claymation, and I'm very into that sort of like visual style. It's not, I don't know if it's a game I'm going to play. I just think it looks really cool, and it has, it visually stands out from everything else coming out these days. So.
And then they wanted to make sure you knew that Criterion, BioWare, DICE, and EA Motive are all developing next-generation games right now, because it's important to say that, I guess.
Yeah, they showed off some next-gen in-progress footage, including some stuff that was presumably Dragon Age 4. Did they give us anything else as far as a proper Dragon Age 4 announcement? No, of course not. Why would they have done that? That would have been very nice and smart of them, but EA is not a nice or smart company, so.
Nor did they announce the. Remember, guys, when a couple weeks ago it was a slam dunk that a Mass Effect remastered trilogy was coming out. Somehow it didn't get announced at the EA Play event. Shocking! Nope. I can't believe that this thing that definitely is going to happen wasn't announced at the EA event. So, Micah, what were your thoughts on the EA Play presentation?
I would love to give them to you if I watched it, but I did not. No, I didn't bother.
Like I said, I was only there for the Mass Effect reveal that I knew was not coming. That's the only reason that I showed up, and to see if they actually showed gameplay for Squadrons. And again, when you're a developer and you tell us, you tease that you're like, oh, we're gonna show you gameplay. Can you just show me an unedited 5-minute slice of the game?
Yeah.
Can we just do that? Start doing that again? It's okay.
Please, it's fine.
Right. Just show me what the game actually plays like. That's what I want to see. I don't need to see the fucking sizzle reel of, well, here are the different game modes, and we'll show you 5-second cuts of gameplay.
Give me the first 5 minutes of gameplay.
Right. Just let me see what it's like. Let me get a feel for what the game's gonna look like and play like when I get it in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want. It's not that hard. I don't feel like I'm asking for too much, especially when you're teasing it. You're like, oh, there's gameplay coming. Okay, cool. That's not
sure.
Gameplay. Did you show me in-game play footage? Sure, but that's not gameplay. It's not the same. It's not the same thing. But yeah, so that is it for this week. We did not do a post-office this week because we knew a lot of news was going to cause us to run a little long. But make sure you do join our fan group, denspixels.com/fans. That way you can submit your questions, which we usually ask for on a weekly basis. Make sure you subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple, Google, or whichever podcatching app you use, and make sure you subscribe to the other TNT Studio shows as well. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube at youtube.com/denspixels, and then head on over to Twitch, not Mixer, and follow Carrie at Suffix Carrie and Terrence Apparition 410 as well to check those guys out on their stream too. Terrence still on his Power Rangers kick right now.
Yeah, doing 100% combos because whatever.
So that is it. Thank you guys very much for watching and listening. We'll see you all next time.
Thanks.
See ya.
You're watching the Dense Pixels YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button while you're here and make sure you check out our weekly podcast where we discuss the latest gaming news and our impressions on what games we've been playing.